Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with Burden of Command. The best way to describe this is kind of like Fields of Fire has met a digital war game. The emphasis, obviously, here is on the command aspect, right? It's not as simple as just moving your guys. You can't just click and go here. You actually have to have a unit leader that moves them and commands them and tells them what to do, just like you would have in real life. One of the things the designer told me was that you couldn't just jump into the game. You really need to go through the tutorial and kind of learn it before you do it. You'll mess it all up if you don't. You won't know what you're doing. I'd already started the tutorial earlier, just did a little bit of the basic stuff. We're going to play through a little bit more of it because I haven't finished it. And let's see if I can pick up where I left off with the tutorial. I'm hoping this is what it will do. There we go. We'll just go ahead and finish it out with a drop, because that's actually what I got. Fill problem reset, loyalty earned 7. And this is something I noticed is like your characters have stats, right? There's loyalty and leadership that comes into play. The prestige counts as well. You're not just doing stuff. You have stats that make you a better leader. All right. No one out of action, sir. Exit before story. Continue a story. Let's continue a story. This should be the thing.
A good leader needs to be able to think ahead, anticipate a situation, and make a decision based on the best information available.
At last, the fighting dies down. Now, this is training, so there's no fighting yet. Mission draw. The referees called it a draw. Nothing you could do about it. Men draw. The referees call a draw. Nothing you do about it. This is my duty. Why are you in the army? This will help me defend those I love. Sometimes you'll be presented with choices like this, and depending on what choice you pick, it could affect your stats. This does not appear to have any of the stat changes. I like that. They drafted me for this shit. Let's just go. This is my duty. Why did you join the army? Just like that, the exercise is over. The next will begin shortly. All right, so now we're going to pick up with the next part of the training. Camp Picket, 24th September 1942. Aid your men. I'm not sure what that does. Let's just continue with our journey. And there's a thing down here. What is all this? Oh, yeah, you can read some snippets of what's going on. Cool. Now, keep in mind, this is very beta at the moment. I've had this for a little bit of time, but it's taken me a little bit to work it in because I didn't expect the demo to hit when it did. All right, so what do we got going on here? You see the units, Gerald Laxley, September 11th, 2007.
Well, infantry.
Oh, cool, look at this.
Infantry is different than cavalry.
So what?
We didn't have horses, but they had light tanks. The
Okay.
cavalry did.
So
and
what kind of training then would you have in the infantry?
Bayonet,
Mm-hmm.
bayonet. Hand grenade. You don't throw a hand grenade like a baseball. You lob it.
Yeah, we did that. I'll give you a funny story about throwing a grenade in basic training. I remember doing that. We did it in combat school. And one of the things they told us is the instructors, they hated grenades because we would do a lot of dummy grenades and then we do one live grenade. And, of course, they were terrified because a lot of these young Marines are dumber than shit. And they told them, like, I will make one attempt to kick it into the sump. So in the grenade pit that you would throw your grenade from, your practice grenades and all that, there's a concrete hole dug down that's bigger than the size of a grenade, right? So you could drop a grenade down there and it would protect the guys. The instructor's like, I will make one attempt to kick that grenade down that hole, and after that, I'm getting out, and whatever happens to you, happens to you. They try to get them out if they can, but I get it. These guys don't want to die because some recruit was stupid. Not recruit, Marine, young Marine. This was after basic training. And one of our guys was next up to throw grenades. The rest of us had done fine, chucked it, and you duck down behind the barrier. You don't watch it. So this guy lobs his grenade properly, and then grabs the edge of the barrier and pulls himself up so he could see the grenade go off. And the instructor yanked him down. The sergeant grabbed him, threw him down on the ground real quick. Was like, "You bleepity bleep moron, what the hell do you think you're doing?" Boy, this guy was stupid. Dumb enough to want to see the grenade go off. I mean, shrapnel is going to go across. These grenades have a big radius. It's 5 meter kill radius, 15 meter injury casualty radius, right? So that's where you take shrapnel wounds. So they could fly out a good ways, definitely farther than this idiot was throwing the grenade. All right. Let's get into this. Click anywhere. All right. 24 September. The soldiers of your platoon are weary in their boots as they march back to the starting places. The morning run and the recent field problem have both clearly taken their toll. Platoon Sergeant Bennett glances your way, and an unspoken question of whether to quicken or slacken the pace lingers between you. Let them rest. The men will be ready for the upcoming exercise and suffer no suppression. They will also acquire no experience. Pick up the pace. They will be slightly fatigued and suffer very little suppression. They will also acquire very little experience. Experience will eventually increase their performance. Double time. The men will be fatigued, suffer suppression, and acquire some experience. So basically, this is the 3 different levels. I can have them completely ready, but they're not going to gain experience. No bad effects. No good, no bad. This is about the middle ground, and this is about the worst. You're getting something, but you're paying for it. Let's shoot down the middle. Have the men pick up the pace. So as you see, like you're the commander, basically, right? Your choices are going to affect how the battle plays out. Definitely interested to see how this works. You have Bennett pass along the order, and he calls a brief halt to form columns before resuming the march. It isn't a pretty line, but at least they're not dogging about anymore. Naturally, they gripe about the unjust state of affairs, because if the troops aren't bitching, they're dead. At the assembly area, the fatigue umpire with the captain's bars idly adjusts his clipboard and then recites his expected line. This field problem concerns fire and movement, culminating with an assault upon an objective, except this time your platoon will have support from your company's weapon platoon. Lovely. Heavy weapons coming up, Lieutenant. Sergeant Bennett's notes as a dozen men from the weapons platoon march over. That looks like a World War One picture, man. Look at that hats they're wearing. A little make pretend machine gun there. They don't have real 30 cals yet, just logs painted black. Those are supposed to be as heavy as the real thing. But the beefy officer leading the weapons platoon carries a log as if it were no heavier than a baseball bat. Lieutenant Stern. Hey, Stern, we're about to kick off. And you see, again, this changes things. Verbosity is one of the 3 character traits. It reflects how much an officer likes to talk. Verbosity does not affect the tactical battlefield, but may add some chrome to conversations. Cool. Alright, so we got +1 there. Waves turnover, it's a -1. And no change. Let's get a +1.
Yep.
Not without us, Stern calls back, his voice carrying well across the field. You're almost late, Lieutenant, the field umpire notes. It was a long run from the target range, Stern replies evenly, but it'll be the Krauts who will be doing the running when we take a crack at them. Yes, well, today's objective is for a combined arms assault on the farmhouse down there, the field umpire says, and points to the little house in the distance. Time will be, as it ever is, a factor. This does not appear to do any changing. Eager. I was shooting the middle. Stern looks your way. Tell me what to hit, and we'll hit it hard enough for you to schlep right over, he says. Then glances down at the 30 cal in his hands and chuckles. Well, we'll pretend to anyway. Back to your platoons, lieutenants, the field umpire says to you both. You are allowed only limited communication while the exercise is paused. In particular, the weapons platoon will be initially unavailable. All right, so we get a sarcasm. What completely valid reason is there for that? Understood, sarcasm -1. No, definitely sarcasm +1. I love sarcasm. It is part of the exercise, the field umpire replies, pointedly narrows his gaze. Remember, rifles first, then the machine gun. Stern gives you a knowing nod at the news. As the two of you depart for your different platoons, you consider how best to develop this field problem. Your 3 rifle squads are organized as part of 1st Platoon. The machine gun and mortar are part of the weapons platoon. Each platoon has a leader in command. Stern is in charge of the weapons platoon. Alright, so my rifle squads are going to look like this. Now, the little green pips you see there, that has to do with their orders. Shooting expends up to 2 orders. 1 order to move. That's what those little pips are. 1 order to shoot, 2 orders to move. So it's reversed for the machine gun team. It looks like for the rifle squad, it's easier to move, harder to shoot. Reverse for the machine gun team. Mortars are hard on both. 2 orders to shoot, 2 orders to move. And the leader, if you do it right, and I think I kind of confused this a little bit on the first playthrough, the first tutorial part, the leader uses his pips to kind of order people around. 1 order to move or shoot, may use bolster, rally, and press. I don't know what any of those are. I mean, I know what bolster is. Bolster? I look, I'm like, hey, what is this? It tells me. Lovely. Unit gains temporary morale. Leader's presence, shooting, and assault become even more effective. Yay! Rally. Suppression removed via rally. Whatever the hell that is. Suppression via combat shock. Okay. Casualties. That's what that means. Some of the combat outcomes you will have to sort, and yes, these can be assessed by the GUI reference screen, the one you bring up by hitting the question mark. Okay. We've got everything but tanks. Each platoon will have a different role to play.
Bennett tells me you're progressing, LT. So today we get to talk about tactics, not just mechanics. Without further ado, why don't we go to, I think, the core of how we're different from most tactical games that the casual gamer or others might be familiar with, namely bang, 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 you're dead games. This is true a fair number of tactical World War II games too, but I don't think of reality. You know, people don't want to die. You fire at them, they're going to get down behind the stone wall, and your bullets aren't going to do much. So, instead you need what's called the 4Fs. So here we are in Germany. You've got elements of a rifle platoon, you've got Germans up north, and your goal is to suppress them first. You're not going to succeed in killing them, they're in pretty good cover, and they're going to put their heads down. So you've started firing, but it's not just bang, bang, bang even for suppression. You have to be smart, you have to use your leadership, you have to bolster, improving their fire. The leader is directing the fire here. He's using a heavy weapon, which is intimidating, higher rate of fire, puts more bullets around the squad. And, you know, when you hear bullets whizzing by, you start to be suppressed, meaning you're keeping your head down. And you can see the color bars here are telling us the state of the enemy's morale. They've gone from green to yellow, and they will shortly be at red. So they've been doing an effective job here. He's suppressed.
Finish the exercise before turn 2. Don't get anyone killed. Okay. Select the squad. Shoot. Rifles may shoot up to 5 hexes away. Shooting will consume up to 2 orders. They only have 2 orders. Shooting through woods will not provide the enemy cover, but the building they are in certainly will. So they're in this building down here. Select this squad, then right-click to shoot this. And like I said, this is the tutorial. Very, very by the book, teaching you how to do this stuff. And this consumes 1 leader order and up to 2 rifle squad orders. So select and right-click. All right. Stone walls stop bullets, Lieutenant. Sergeant Bennett says, but they're not invincible over there. We've got the firepower. Let's make them keep their heads down until Stern is ready. Cover icons found on units are in hexes. Oh, okay, so that's what's shown on the right side. No cover, light cover, medium cover, heavy cover, extreme cover, what the enemy always seems to have. I love it. You give the order and your men take aim. The enemy's already partially suppressed, so this should be a little bit easier. I like this idea because this is making it to where you have to think a little more tactically. You're not going to just fire and run around. You're going to try to suppress them, right? You want to try to keep their head down. And where was that firing coming? I didn't click anything. All right. Select squad. Shoot. Full cover is a full shield. Less cover is less of a shield. Lack of a cover can be lethal. Oh, I think it's just showing how these guys are firing at each other. Okay. Okay. And they have... I can't even see what cover they have. It's not showing it. Select this one and shoot the enemy. You signal Sergeant Grant across the way. He replies with equal vigor and gets the other squad in position. A glance through your binoculars reveals Private Roberts as the soldier squints through circular iron sights at the distant target. But beside him is Private Hancock, who apparently has again mislaid the protective ears on either side of his machine gun sights, no doubt to remove something he considers a distraction. All right. Eventually gain 1 XP. Later option. Remember to ask Hancock about his weapon later. Trust +1. I like the idea of the leader leading and trusting his men. So we're going with trust. Officers are more than foot soldiers. Trying to be one is bad trade, which is true. That's probably it for rifle work, Sergeant Bennett says as the referees make their calculations, but we could give them a taste of 30 cal instead. Same rounds, but a lot more of them, if we had permission to use a radio. No radios available, however, we do have the flags. The Empire waves at a set of flags marked radio. You could always send a runner, of course, slower, but more reliable if they don't get shot. Should have opened with fire with a machine gun. In real life, you don't open with a machine gun. One of the things they taught us is the rifles fire first, because you already want the staccato of fire happening before you open up with the machine gun. Because if the machine gun opens up first, they'll be able to more easily assess where the machine gun is. The rifles did some work. The machine guns could do more. I really want to employ the mortar, but no, we'll go with machine gun. The rifles took easy, accurate shots. The machine gun can spit out a lot more lead, but that alone is enough. That was probably the lesson the Emperor wanted to teach. Firefights can be complicated. Hold the Alt key to mouse over each section for a breakdown of what's going on. Oh, okay. And it shows what's going on with the unit. Nice. Signal stern with flags, and we're using flags. He signals back an acknowledgement. All the while, the enemies keep their heads. Ed the round. Activate Sten. Yes, activate.
We further reinforce that sense of limited command and control by dividing the turn into leader rounds. If it's your leader round, you only get to lead your men, and you don't get to lead them during Stern's leader rounds. There's another reason we do leader rounds, to emphasize another coordination problem, namely coordinating your company of 4 distinct platoons, independently led. That's not easy, and so the rounds force you to choose what platoon is doing what. And there's a last reason. The military likes to say, the enemy gets a vote, meaning they're not going to sit quietly while you do all the wonderful things you'd like to do. They might want to do things that interrupt your plan, kind of like happens in chess. You get a move, they get a move.
To get heavy weapons involved, you have to switch leaders by ending the round. Interesting. Now, you guys saw that command structure that was showing there on the left. That was one of the things that made me feel like this kind of symbolizes the command structure that you saw in Fields of Fire, the board game. If you haven't checked it out, I got videos on it. But basically, you got more orders. You were more effective in that game by passing the orders down from on high, so the highest officer down through the ranks into the platoons and then the squads, and they all move forward. If you tried to have the highest leader issue a direct order, you only got one, right? You could have him tell them what to do, but it was very ineffective. If you passed it down through the chain to the platoon leaders, instead of activating a single squad, you could activate 3 platoons with multiple squads. Right? That's the premise that's going on. The command doesn't need to waste their leadership by trying to... Yes, you want to lead from the front, but they don't want to activate just one guy. They want to activate the company. They want to activate the platoon, right? This focuses on that aspect, which I like. I think this is interesting. All right, we got in the round just a little bit. The real star of the show will become the machine guns. Those can spit out a lot of firepower out of the stern's command. You can always see who is leading. Interesting. Okay. Coordination takes time, Sergeant Bennett says, as the two of you watch Stern's men set up shop. No way around that, even if we had real radios. Simplified rounds, players round, enemy round, Stern's round, enemies round, players round. Interesting. Am I not controlling Stern? Do I only control my leader? Player activates at least one squad under his command. His squads need not expend all their orders. Stern activates at least one squad. Player activates. Again, interesting.
That end toward the enemy.
In the round, generally only one platoon leader can be leading at a time. The spacebar is the hotkey to end the round. After the enemy has their turn, have Stern open fire. Where is Stern? Stern's up here. Then let's hold Alt. Is it? No, it's not letting me do that yet. Open fire with machine gun. Machine gun teams have longer range than rifles. Unlike rifle squads, can fire multiple times for one order each. However, movement cost machine gun teams too. All right, so yeah, you could click here or hit spacebar. So we'll end the round. End the round to utilize other platoons. Having more than one platoon is good, but you will have to let the enemy take a turn to swap between platoon activations. All right. And do I just right click? I don't know. I think so. Yeah. Yay! Ha! Bullets go down. That's a sound to hear and fear, especially since the machine gun is firing at the enemy beyond the effective range of their rifles. Sergeant Bennett declares, though it would have been better if you bolstered the men first. Interesting. Nearby, the field umpire checks his watch. Darkness. I go darkness +1. That was a lot of firepower worth the weight of carrying it forward, Sergeant Bennett says, but if we really want to make them huddle and puddle on the boots, we'll need mortars. Yes, I like mortars. Boom, boom, boom. Lieutenant Stern will spot the fall of his unit mortar rounds from his location, the umpire indicates. That is the only way to ensure accuracy. A leader can direct artillery, which that's right along with board games, how they operate. You need a leader to call in. Support assets. U.S. 3rd Squad. All right. Don't need to be able to see the enemy directly to lob shells at them. They just need Stern to be in a position to spot the fall of rounds. The mortars could sit safely on the reverse slope of a hill and still contribute to the battle. In fact, that is the way they prefer to conduct themselves. I am sure. Left click Stern, spot with the mortars. Where's the mortar thing? Can even use spotters to fire from cover, which is good because they take 2 orders to move or fire. Oh, okay. Left click to spot. Here we go. So this is our little spot thing. And we have to pick one. We're going to pick our 60mm mortar. And finally right click on the enemy. Oh, I like that. All right. Yeah, I like that. You found fire.
Some of you will recognize this. But note there weren't any casualties. So, now we have to, ideally, flank and finish. And Dearborn, let's hope you can do the job here. So to read about sort of laying down the field work for success. There's a lot of games that focus on drama of melee, but from what I've read, for instance, in Leo Murray's book, actually most assaults led to surrender or retreat because people suppressed don't really want bayonets in the stomach.
A moment of calm amid the chaos. Yeah, we'll just continue with the exercise. I don't want this video to be that long. There we go, Lieutenant. Sergeant Bennett says as a moment of calm fades. There ain't nothing a soldier can do about that shell that has his name on it. However, the squad isn't considered dead, merely pinned. The field umpire notes. And they'll stay that way unless you execute an assault to either take prisoners or force the enemy to retreat. Bang, bang, bang will not take positions or prisoners. A squad will just hunker down behind cover and wait things out. That is why you will need to make an assault. All right. Let's take them in the flank, Sergeant Bennett says. No one fights hard if you hit them in the kidneys with the get-go. And if we could stay out of their sight, so much better. When Stern ceases fire, you will attempt exactly that. A revealed enemy threatens these orange... Okay. They could perform opportunity fire on units moving through them, but I'm assuming if we get them pinned, they can't do that. These hexes are safe, but unrevealed enemies could still be out there. Alright. You might shoot at the enemy all day and only ever inflict suppression. To make sure you remove the enemy from play, inflict suppression, and then take prisoners via an assault. And we've got to switch to a different leader. And we've got a guy over here ready to move over and get them. And they're red. They're suppressed. Alright, select a squad. Bolster the same. And assault. Assaults require high morale and good timing. Once you have switched back to first platoon, select the squad via left click. Remember to use waypoints via control right click before you select assault and right click the target's hex. Interesting. Alright. Now we need to bolster, which is, I'm assuming this. Bolster.
That's the way!
Now bolstered. Oh, see? Alright. So we don't want to go out like this into those threatened orange hexes. We want to come this way. So control right click and then... Oh crap, I hit the wrong freaking button. Left click this. I had to click the assault button. And I forgot to click that. I wonder if I can just skip a turn and select them again. Because I did not select them to do that. So when I right clicked on them, I clicked to attack, shoot instead. All right.
Outed.
You can't knock the lieutenant here for being slow, blah, blah, blah. Sergeant, forget yourself. Yep, the enemy is certainly toughing out over there. All right, now I get a chance to redo this. All right, bolster. And now, click that.
There.
Go hand in hand. There we go. Now I got it right.
You think I do this on purpose?
Stab him, get him, shoot him, kill him. Alright, so you guys saw my mistake there. Make sure you click the assault button before you do that, otherwise you might shoot. That's the way Lieutenant Sergeant Bennett waves you over. As the enemy soldiers in the red armbands run off, it'll be harder overseas, but we got the method down. Behind him, the Field Empire ticks another box on his clipboard. Another enemy squad has been sighted, the Field Empire notes. They were attempting to reinforce the objective and now have begun a counterattack. Give me extra time. Yeah, what, where? Wait, the green donut shows on product 70% chance to initiate assault. Okay, alright. There, the Field Empire says, but doesn't point. Whistle blows, the exercise resumes at once. Alright, new enemies over there. The little green icon indicates that one of your squads is still undetected. Which one? This one is undetected. A green icon denotes this on a given unit of either side. The fog of war cuts both ways. Okay. Line of sight only. What the hell am I supposed to do with that information? I don't know. What do I do? Can I suppress them by firing at them? No leader order available to activate this unit.
Dog squad.
They are cowering. Okay. I wonder if we can go after them. It won't let me go that way. Can I go that way? Alright, what if we shoot the new enemy? Or am I supposed to use these guys to get eyes on? But there's nowhere I can move them to where I can get line of sight. Interesting. And I've got no effective leadership up here. I want to call them mortars or something. Machine gun can fire. I could just fire. They're flanked and surprised. Win initiative chance, bolster to improve. Let's bolster the men. Screw it. Let's just fire. If the enemy is not suppressed in the round, not the turn, and then switch to stern and use his mortars and machine guns to suppress the enemy. Alright. Let's end the round. And I want to call in mortars, call in support. We'll call in artillery, the mortars, and fire. That was casualties. Nice. Nice. And it looks like they got some experience from that. And I think I can fire with the machine guns as well. Can I bolster these guys? Yes, I can bolster them and then fire with the machine gun. Not the rest. Calculate that. And we'll fire again. Why not? They are supremely suppressed. And we'll go to the next turn. Turns left 2. The field umpire makes another note. That enemy squad is still out there. We better use everything we got on the enemy before we make an assault. Sergeant Bennett remarks. Rifles, machine guns, mortar. I already did that. Some harsh language for the men to hear before we fix bayonets. They're flanked and they are suppressed. Alright, so let's bolster. And click here. Go hand to hand. Oh, we took a casualty. The other squad is taken prisoner. No running off this time. Whistle blows. Now the exercise is truly over. Field Empire signals for you and Bennett to approach. Minor victory. The mission is a draw. The men, minor victory. Exercise complete. Loyalty and prestige. How is it a draw? I completed the mission. Maybe because I screwed up that one time and do it as quick. No one out of action. Yes. All right. Yes. All right. So you guys see how the game operates. It is all about that effective leadership. And yes, this is beta right now. All right. This is alpha, beta, whatever. It is not finalized. So they're going to be tweaking things. But honestly, what really is standing out to me in this game is that effective use of leadership. And they are right that they didn't just fire, blow everything up. Men aren't just going to stay there and die. You know, they'll retreat, they'll surrender, they'll do other things. So it makes sense that you got to use things like combined arms or artillery to suppress a position before you have a different squad flank them and come in. You know, all that combined arm stuff. I'm sure this is going to probably start touching on tanks soon. I'm going to stop the video here. I just wanted to show you guys what the tutorial looks like, how it's kind of neat. It's giving you a story, letting you kind of play it out. And then I'm going to play the rest of the tutorial off camera, and then I'll come back with a little bit of the campaign so you guys can see how the actual game is going to play out. But I'll tell you what, from what I can see right now, it does appear like Burden of Command is shaping up to be something nice and something different. Yes, the graphics are a little rudimentary, you know, I'll give it that. They're definitely not the best of graphics. But war gamers aren't exactly, you know, graphic intensive type of games. You know, we don't really care about graphics. Yes, do I appreciate a nice set of graphics? Yes. Headquarters World War II has some, superb graphics. but it's a different game. You're going to have some that give you different experience. This one's being kind of grassroots built up. They're really focusing on that key aspect of the command when it comes to your troops and doing it effectively. And I haven't seen too many other games that actually have done that, especially not in the digital realm. You've got some board games that do it, but not the digital games. So this is one I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on, and you guys stay tuned because I'm going to be back with some more footage of the actual gameplay itself. All right, that's going to be it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all take care. Catch you in the next one.